Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Steam Shuffle, and today we are looking at an early access title by the name of Dead Cells. It has been developed and published by Motion Twin, and through my research I wasn't really able to find much else that they've done other than like free-to-play games, so this could very well, to my knowledge, it's their first break into actually charging for a video game. And you'll see in big red letters down there it says that a controller is recommended for this. I'm not using one, and I am finding the controls as smooth as can be. Actually more smooth than I was expecting, so don't let that scare you if you want to do this with keyboard and mouse. But basically we are looking at a roguelite 2D brawler of sorts. If I had to compare it to two games, I would say this is Super Metroid meets Dark Souls. Even things like your Estus Flask and things like that are in it. And this is probably one of the first roguelites that I have played that I have actually really enjoyed. It's usually not my cup of tea. The only other one I've really played that I really enjoyed was Enter the Gungeon. But this one's pretty awesome. I'm going to jump into a new run for us, and we're going to take a look at it real quick. So you are this clump of cells, and you basically take over this body, and he has no actual head to speak of from what I can tell. The gold right here is part of what I picked up on the most recent run, and if you're not familiar with the roguelike genre, basically you're going to die. You're going to die a lot, but every time you die, you can get stronger. If you bring some of your gold with you, or you're able to pick up items that will increase a stat tree, which I will show you once we get to the end of the level on here. And you start out with your choice of a shield or a bow, which can be upgraded if you get the right things. I haven't put points into it yet. You have your melee weapon. You have a dodge roll that is incredibly important, and if you look down in the left-hand corner there, I have my my flask with F, which is a full heal, and you can get more charges on it if you get a higher level, and you get 2 support items that you don't start out with. So let's run through here real quick and see how far we make it. Already got a rare blueprint that drops, so when I get to the end to the actual shop, that will give me an opportunity to drop that off and build it, and in subsequent playthroughs I can find it as a random drop. So far I have found probably, I would say, 3 or 4 melee weapons and quite a few offhand weapons such as throwing knives, bow and arrows, shields. I don't care for the shields so far. I don't know if I'm not using them right or if it's just not my cup of tea, but I don't like them. And then quite a few different supporting weapons. Take care of this guy real quick. This little teleporter network, any of the teleporters that I've unlocked in this map I can teleport directly to. So you can kind of jump around. I've got a little bit of money from my previous playthrough, but I don't have enough to grab any of that. But there's a blood sword right here. So we're going to take that, replace the rusty sword. And the weapons, the melee weapons, do have different animations to them as well. So they feel different depending on which one you have. And certain people are going to prefer certain weaponry. I like the blood sword quite a bit. I'm alright with the twin daggers because they have a combo attack that at the end of it you do a critical hit. So that's going to pretty much double my damage that I just got, and that is for the entirety of the playthrough. You can also find health ones, and you can find skill ones, or you can find a random one that will of your choosing you can increase a stat. So now we got that other teleporter unlocked. I usually don't find myself using them, to be completely honest. Found me a little secret there as well. Get some more money. You see these little blue orbs that I'm picking up. Those are the cells that you will use to empower yourself. And if you die, you lose all of them. Go ahead and grab health. Kind of keep it a bit even. And from what I've noticed, I've made it to level 3. Although one time level 3 I found on this map, which was a bit odd. But the enemies do get stronger. They take more damage to kill, and they hit a whole lot harder. So you kind of want to try to get as much stuff as you can. However, and I've only found it a couple of times because these maps are randomized every time, but there is a door that if you are going through the level fast enough will be unlocked when you get there. I have yet to get there when it was still unlocked, so I don't know what's on the other side of that door. This is your menu that you use your cells on that you will carry over for each subsequent playthrough. And as you can see, I carry 40% of my gold over. This gave me my health flask, and if I put enough points in, which is what I'm doing now to get, I can have 2 charges on it, on that full heal. You also have upgrades to your damage on different weapons, as well as the blueprint that I picked up. Those can be turned into, as of right there, turned into a weapon that you can then find throughout the game while you're playing it. And you want to try to, you can only spend those if you get to the end of the levels, so you have to be really careful with those cells, and you get a full health and full recharge on your flask, and you go on to the next map. I don't know how long this is. I have read a few reports on the Steam page that say it's fairly short, and granted it is in early access, so I will not hold that against them. Time will tell to see how much content they actually add. And the platforming elements aren't really anything to be too concerned with. I've never found myself dying because of platforming, unless I was just really stupid and jumped into some spikes or something like that. And the levels are fairly open-ended as well. There's a bit of an exploration aspect to it. There's one of those doors. See, 9 seconds ago, if I was 9 seconds faster, I could have got through there. But we will never know what's on the other side of that door. So, onward and upward. That would have been bad. I'm really enjoying this. I feel like I'm actually kind of decent at it, and that's one of my problems with a lot of roguelites that I play, is they're just really hard. This one may be hard for some people, but maybe it's just going back to my roots, back on the NES and SNES days, but Brawlers were my jam, man. This is what I played all the time, and I really have not had a problem with this. I have a feeling if I get a little bit further into it, I'm going to regret saying that and start getting my ass handed to me, but as of right now, I haven't really had much of a problem. The enemy types vary pretty much on a per map basis. That little training dummy that I just broke there shields everyone, and if you don't break it, they are invulnerable to damage, so you have to get those down pretty quick. And these little bats are introduced. There's one other mob type that's on here. Hey, another rare blueprint. A magnetic grenade. That sounds like it could be fun. There's one other one on here. They don't do a whole lot different. And usually I try not to stick around too long to find out what they actually do, because I want to kill them and kill them quickly. Again, my playstyle may be different. I don't do shields. I don't mess around. I get shit done. So I'm going to take another strength here. I don't find myself using my skills very often, except one that I just recently got, which is an auto turret. And that thing is amazing. I really want to try to get that one again, because you throw it down and it just lights up everyone that's walking towards you. So that was really handy. The frost bombs, not so much. There are elite mobs that I tend to use skills on a bit more, but they're very few and far between. There was one that I have found that I now have the ability to grow vines out of the ground, like right here actually. And before I killed that boss, I did not have that ability. So I'm assuming that if the further I get, I will find another elite that will give me another ability that will let me explore even further, akin to Metroid or Castlevania. And I might be stuck in this hole. There we go. Again, platforming usually doesn't kill me unless I do something stupid like that. Busting the door open on them gives you a really quick stun as well. So if I go through a door, I don't open it. I smash it. That's just how you do it. And I'm getting messed up pretty good right now. This sword has a bleed effect on it as well, and I just got one that does more damage, so we're going to pick that up. I'm able to hit these guys a little bit harder. Whoop! That's a training dummy thing. There we go. Okay, I might die here. Oh god. Alright, let's see if I can heal up. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Alright, we're healed. Woo! Okay, there. As I was saying, it can get a bit rough sometimes when you start getting overwhelmed, but what you just saw is about as bad as I've seen it so far. And I'm slowly progressing because I'm getting stronger every time I go through here, so I have no doubt that I will be getting a bit better here in the future. Also kind of depends on the run. Not so much as some other roguelites, because some of the roguelites like Enter the Gungeon, which I did like, but it feels like through the whole thing, you didn't really get a whole lot to increase your power. Maybe 1 or 2 items, or no items in some cases. In this one, I don't have that problem. I feel like every time I play through it, I get at least strong enough to deal with what I need to deal with. Sometimes even stronger, depending on the items I got. Because I still have the starting bow. I don't like the starting bow. I don't know. I would say the Freeze Blast so far is my favorite secondary weapon that I've found. There we go. Boy, we taking a lot of damage. Health pickups are very hard to come by. That's why you have the flask. Because I've maybe 1 or 2 health pickups a level if you're lucky, but once I get that health flask leveled up to have 2 charges, that will be much easier. There we go. But man, I'm cutting it close right now. Let's see if there's anything down here. Oh, hello, shopkeep. See, this is the turret that I really like. So I'm going to pick that up. We are not going to make it much further in this, though. I can guarantee that. We are about dead. Alright, so go turret! And that's not where I wanted it. Let's try that again. Go turret! There we go. It just does work. It just sits there and lights them up for me. Love that thing. Oh, okay. Come on. Oh, nope, no, not today, bat. There you go. You can have some of that. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what else they put into this. And there's the death. And I lost 24 cells. That stings a little bit. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what else they add to this. More abilities, more levels, more weapons. Just more of everything that they've done so far. Even the music in it is absolutely fantastic from what I have found. I'm really digging it. And it's, again, this is probably, even though it is an early access, I could see this, for me personally, being the best roguelite game that I have played to date. And I know there are a ton of them these days. Rogue Legacy I really enjoyed as well. I liked Enter the Gungeon, but again, it had its problems also. And I never got behind Binding of Isaac. I should probably preface that with I've played maybe like 30 minutes of it. So I know there's some serious Binding of Isaac guys out there, but that's top-down shooter. This is 2D brawler, so comparing the two isn't really fair. The same with Enter the Gungeon. The closest resemblance to this would be Rogue Legacy, for sure. But this is much more fast-paced. And you don't have all the ailments. You don't have negatively impacting things on this. And it's just fun to play. You feel very powerful. You feel like you can take on pretty much everything. And every time I've died, I don't feel like I got screwed. Oh, some twin daggers. I feel the death is justified. Like, I could have played better easily to get out of that. None of it's really cheap. And that's very important for this kind of game, is to feel like nothing's cheaply killing you. Already got that horizontal auto turret too. This could be a good run. And I probably won't make it to the end on this run, but I bet you I can at least make it further than I did last time, but maybe not. We're starting it pretty strong. And that's kind of the whole point of roguelites. The way it changes every time. I like to think of it as back in the day when you had things like Golden Axe or Streets of Rage or things like that. You would play the same levels over and over again, the same exact enemy spawns over and over again. If we had something like this back then, oh man, that would have been amazing. Because then we get to play something kind of different every time. It's new and fresh. It would add way more replay value to it, in my opinion. Oh, he's going to have to get better at dodging, that's for sure. You see the daggers have that combo at the end, though. They're a little bit slower because of the combo, but they hit way harder with that third strike. It takes them out. There's a skill up. I wish I had 1,000 gold to get that power up in there, because those are really what do it. When you start getting your damage up to 3 and 4 levels, these guys just melt, and it is necessary for the third level easily. Oh, I've never found that door before. That'll open it though. Let's see what's down here. The elites are the closest things to bosses that I've found so far. And that's how we get through apparently. And that probably is going to be about as far as it goes. They spawn smaller dudes and they hit a whole lot harder, but no like unique bosses, at least as far as I have found in the game. That could very well change. Again, we are in early access, so that's something I would like to see, would be some pretty hardcore boss fights, unless they're already in and I'm too much of a pleb to have made it, but I have a feeling they're not quite yet. We were released on May 10th for Dead Cells, so it just came into early access. I haven't really looked into the plan for Motion Twin to add more content or what the release schedule or full release looks like, but in my opinion right now, there's enough value in here to justify the cost of $16.99. Just fine. I have no buyer's remorse in this whatsoever, and I'm going to probably sit down and play a few games of this and do a few runs every now and then quite frequently because I really, really enjoy it. I really got messed up there, but I really enjoy it. Throw down the auto turret. These bats can be a little bit problematic. You did see a little bit of slowdown there just now. That does not happen very often. Performance-wise, it's pretty solid. That will get you killed. Again, early access. Right now, I haven't found, like, hardcore bugs in it. There's no delete your save files or progress or anything like that. But it's very possible. So, if you have never bought into an early access game, keep that in mind. If you have, you know what you're getting yourself into. Being part of the development process, and I'm not a fan of doing these types of videos on early access games. I know I've done a few of them, but when I do them, it's because I really feel like the game in its current form is justifiable to purchase. That is an elite mob. This is gonna get hairy. But I got the auto turret, so it's fine. Let's throw another one out there. We'll just take care of him. Oh, he can teleport. Okay. And he's still teleporting. That hurt. Let's flask up here. Oh, no! I didn't get the heal off in time. And we're going to respawn. We're going to drop down. We're going to get into our decrepit corpse here. We're going to pick up whatever little bit of gold that we did gather to help us start out a bit stronger than the last run. And we do it all again. And that is the entire point of a roguelite. That's pretty much all I have for you guys, because we're going to do the same thing again and again and again. And each experience is going to be a little bit different. And that's okay, because it keeps it nice and fresh. And I can't wait to play more of it. Available again for $16.99 or your regional equivalent. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This is Dead Cells. My name has been Asher, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.